Copyright and patents, judges have had to go back to school to learn what property is. We used to think property is land. We even call it real property. But now you can be a billionaire without owning 1 inch of land. So because of these changes, there's need to continuously train people. So, apart from that, there should be public awareness. I know as prosecutors, you are a lot like judges. You don't like the public space so much. But I think the time has come for you to step forward and help create public awareness through the media, radio programs, television. In any case, it is the ordinary people who are the victims of these crimes. Somebody made an excellent speech here saying the victims are our mothers, our sisters, our children. The public is waiting to hear that, there's somebody fighting for them. You all know that the Vice President of the United States was a very tough California prosecutor. In other words, the public also rewards through votes, of course. I believe some of you may eventually decide to join our murky waters of politics. Don't be too scared. So, the Vice President of the United States was a tough prosecutor. So, it is important for you to know why you are doing what you do. It may appear mundane to you, but you should know the big difference you are making. It is always good for people to know that, oh, they have caught him. Now the office of the DPP is going to make sure they go to jail. That is something that should make you feel good. When you are talking to your juniors, please tell them that people have a lot of expectations of them. They may be paid little money, but it is important for you to let them know their contribution to the grand scheme of things, law enforcement and a peaceful society. When I was first appointed minister, I was talking to those who draft our laws. There are very many in the ministry. Some of them are very junior. So I told them, don't you feel proud when the Chief Justice is reading words from the law and you say, yes, I wrote that. And the Chief Justice saying, according to this act, section this, I say, yeah, I wrote that. And now the Chief Justice is reading it. Otherwise, your staff will be demotivated. They should know. Be like that person who was cutting stones at a building site and he was asked, what are you doing? And instead of saying, I'm cutting stones, he said, I'm building a cathedral. Of course, all he was doing was breaking stones. Probably he has no idea of what the architectural plan of a cathedral is. But in his mind, he knew that the stones he's breaking is making a contribution to the grand cathedral, which will be the end product. So what is the end product you are working towards? A safer region. So that, we stop being insulted. The other person who said we are shithole countries. Forgive my language, but I have to say it. So I want you to get annoyed in your hearts as Africans and say, we want anybody who comes to Africa to know that if somebody commits a crime, they'll be arrested. There was a young lady from Estonia who visited Uganda. She was being cheated by some pastor, robbed of her money. I was glad when the fellow was arrested and so on. So many people who visit our countries think that our systems cannot guarantee their safety, that the law cannot protect them. In other words, All this is in your hands. And for those who are from Uganda, you are not supposed to talk. I think my airtime has run out. Okay. I am getting out of here soon. For those who are from Uganda, you may not want to say certain things yourselves. I'll say them for you. Because you are supposed to be learned. For our own DPP, she's even a judge. So it makes matters worse. She's supposed to carry herself differently. So have a good relationship with the political leaders so that they can push the governments to do the right thing. I believe very strongly that this conference will be a new start. I've heard a rumor that you even want to change the name of your organization, so that is now correct. Not East Africa, but Eastern Africa, so everybody feels included. You may think of a better name, I don't know, but that will be something great. And I hope after this conference, you will have national workshops so that you share what you have learned here to continue unpacking. But for me, I'm going to fight for the Common Training Institute so that a few of you can once in a while, wherever you want to house it, whether you take it to Zambia, whether you take it to Mozambique, whether you keep it in Kampala, but you must have a place where you refresh yourselves and you unpack. Because sometimes the language you people speak while talking to the ordinary people creates a gap. People don't understand the language of prosecutors. Somebody goes to court and the prosecutor is talking to the judge. The accused person is also wondering what's happening, and then the judge bangs the table and then the handcuffs are back on. You saw this movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy. This guy was arrested for poaching. He killed some animal, either an antelope. So they arrested him, put him behind a truck, took him to court. He does not know that there's a law prohibiting. His culture has been a culture of hunting. He doesn't know the word poaching. Who says I'm poaching? So he addresses the judge and he says, "Judge, I'm not a greedy person. If this person who arrested me wants that animal, he can have it. Let me go back and kill another one." So I urge you to unpack what you do, particularly when you are addressing these communities. Some of these communities have been crossing these borders with arms for ages. They have been crossing with cattle. So I emphasize this public awareness. Otherwise, you leave our people puzzled. They'll say, okay, the prosecutor wants to achieve this, but, you know, I once read a story about a snake that was pursuing a frog, and the frog asked the owl, "What do I do? My life is in danger." And the owl said, "Well," because on account of its huge eyes, they thought it is wise and knows what to do. So the owl said, "Fly away." And the frog believed the owl and tried to fly, and then said, "Well, I can't fly, I have no wings." And the owl said, "Well, you know, I deal in broad concepts, the details are yours." We cannot leave our people like that. You must go down to the lowest level, and you do what a transformer does, a step-down transformer. So how are you going to step down this knowledge so that a poor family does not get trapped in the recruiting network of drug traffickers and human traffickers? How are you going to unpack that so that people can understand. And that is where the civil society comes in, because you may not succeed. So I urge you also to collaborate with the civil society organizations. I have enjoyed speaking to you, sharing my random thoughts. The notes that I have made were intended to reduce a very long speech into something which is less boring, but I do hope that from here you will be energized to go and do a better job. We depend on you, and look at yourselves in terms of being part of the world of those fighting crime. You are only a regional bastion, but you are part of the network. Don't lose hope. There are many points of light in the fight against transboundary crimes. Just connect those points of light and you light up the world. Thank you very much.